G'day, I'm Blxz and welcome back to Geneforge 5. So I've sold all my stuff. Wrong button. Sold all my stuff. I have decided to equip the thirsting knife for the time being. I like the extra tiny bit of resistance, so that may help me if I do get attacked myself. And the extra strength to creations will give me a high alpha strike. I'll be able to smash in earlier and do more damage, whereas the Captain Shiv gives me more defense to my creations. The dexterity itself doesn't change, and I'm losing some blessing magic, which will be that'll be a small downside, I guess. But I'm sure I will manage, and if I need be, I can always swap back. I'm not going to sell it just yet. And you can say welcome back to Shamu 2. Now let's head on. I believe we've done most of these areas. So I would like to have a... Actually, was I? I think it was hunting creations that were meant to come out and attack me in the Pericalia farmland. It doesn't matter, I'll come back to it later. Let's head into Stormhold and continue our exploration of here. I think this is where we're going to meet General Owen. So let's have a poke around and see what we find. I think I've had a look down here before. Oh, but there's a prison or something. Yep, I'm not going to bother wasting my living tools to get in there. Having said that, if I put on my tinker gear, I could probably use my unlock spell to get through now. Nothing interesting here. Oh! Jeez. That scared the absolute crap out of me. I must have been a trap or something. I wasn't reading the little text down the bottom. Okay, let's try that again. And let's put in our Tinker's... wrong button. Let's put in our Tinker's bauble. And our Tinker's gloves. There we go, and we have a perfect drake scale. It's not very handy, and 2 essence pods may be useful, but it didn't look like anyone saw me. Actually, didn't I have a necklace of some sort? Oh, I think I've sold. Ah, that's too bad. I must have sold my really good necklace I picked up last episode. Too bad. Oh well, I'll get over it. I don't think it was hugely different from what I already have. What do we got here? Nothing spectacular. Let's keep going up here. Soldier. Okay, let's see if I can get through here. Mental D. Too weak to affect the lock. I might even leave that Tinker's bauble on there. Let's try this again. Still too weak to affect the lock, but it only requires 2 living tools. What's in here? This room contains a private stock of wine for Stormhold. It is truly a drinker's paradise. Large kegs of the finest vintages brought here from all over the Storm Plains and beyond. If the sign outside is to be believed, the wine here is reserved for members of the council. There are several crystal goblets on the table. You know that they are completely free of dust. So we'll obviously get used regularly. Yep, I'm almost certain this will be a way to weed. Owen must be in this chamber nearby. Maybe, or somewhere over here. And what he does is he'll come here and drink that wine. So in the final battle, if I've gone rebel, I should be able to poison it and make him weaker. Maybe. You meet an old, withered servile. Considering how long serviles live, to look this old, the servile must have lived for a very long time, long span indeed. A pair of towels hang from his belt. They are speckled with red. You ask him a question, but he just watches you silently. He doesn't say a word. You move on when the awkwardness overcomes you. No doubt his job is to block me from getting back here. I don't. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. Nothing spectacular, but if I do decide to turn against Alwyn, maybe if I join the Trachovites or something, I will be able to poison his wine, I think. This small building is full of bustling activity. See a kitchen and, to the east, a pantry. The serviles are busy making food for the fort. Serviles constantly grab loaves of bread, pots of stew, and other rations and carry them off to the soldiers and residents. Another directs the cooking. She constantly shouts at the others, trying to keep the kitchen running quickly. As you look around, you notice there are more than serviles here. There are a few soldiers. They constantly watch the preparation of the food. Perhaps they are worried about poison or similar sabotage. Yep, that's another big hint. Any named people? Nope, doesn't look like it. I've already been through here, haven't I? Nothing spectacular that I remember. Well, this will be where Alwyn is. Now, from what I remember, he's always been one of the more reasonable shapers. Warrior, it's pretty rare in this game. He's always seemed to be one of the more reasonable people. Although I think we've had a couple of episodes ago, someone described him as being a bit of an alcoholic now. So, intruders will be considered spies. Well, geez, we have to go in now. You slip into the rear chambers of the main building. Nobody has given you permission to be in here. You hear the echo of footsteps to the south. You also notice the pressure plate set into the floor, no doubt connected to alarms or worse. When in here, some care may be required. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't see me. Let's have a look. Let's save and have a peek around. Is there anything on this book? This pedestal is covered with tomes on shaping techniques. They're pretty bulky and they cover fairly obscure topics, probably not worth stealing. Then you notice that one of the books is much newer than the others. It is a slender survey called Canister, Creation and Analysis. This must be what Raoul wanted. You slip it into your pack. Okay. One of the guards spots you, he points you and shouts an alarm. Blah blah blah. Let's just reload briefly. I know I don't like reloading, but I have no desire to anger Alwyn just yet. Oh no, they found me. Maybe if I get out of here really, really quickly. Nope. I really, really don't want to get into a fight with this whole area. So let's just hide up here briefly. Until he goes back down. Okay. There we go. Yeah, no, I don't want to go that way. Okay. Well, that was fun. Let's get out of here. The question is, do I want to give that to Raoul? I don't know. I don't particularly like Raoul. However, the experience might be nice. Is that Alwyn? What the hell happened to Alwyn? Oh, I was just looking closely at the screen there. That is really cool looking. Oh, I know what it is. So one of the loading screens has a guy that appears to be tied up and attached to it. He must have been badly wounded at some point. I don't know where or how, but well, that explains that. Now We know what's going on here, and why you drink so much wine. You enter the throne room of General Alwyn, leader of the Storm Plains, member of the Shaper Council, war hero, scourge of the rebels. You are stunned by what you see. General Alwyn has been grievously damaged. His body is shattered, his skin is covered with burns. He stands in the middle of a runic circle to the north, by the north wall. A metal framework keeps him upright. Conduits cross the floor around him. 2 of them actually enter his body, sustaining him with energy. One of his arms is sickeningly emaciated. His head lolls to one side. Then the hero of the Stormplane sees you. He raises his head and lets out a long gurgle. "Ah, you there? Yes." His hand weakly waves you forward. "I have waited for you. Come and speak. Do not be afraid. If you obey our laws, you have no problem from me." Okay. This is a little bit disturbing. Holy. Ew, that's weird looking. When you get close to General Alwyn, he motions for you to sit on one of the benches near him. The hum and crackle of magical energy fills the air. You note that the smell is not as bad as you expected, mainly ozone, with a hint of smoke. General Alwyn expects you. You note, with some surprise, that he does not appear disgusted or disdainful. He looks at you from his perch in a calm and analytical way. He is a man who has learned in his travels, sometimes at great cost, that you can never be truly sure who will turn out to be loyal or a rebel, or who will be good and who will be evil. He says, "I'm sure you wonder why I have had you brought here. I have received a message from the enemy. It mentions you by name and description. I have called you here to ask you for your help." Tell me about the message. Alwyn nods. "It is quite unusual." You hear a strange gurgle coming out of somewhere in Alwyn's midsection. He waits for the noise to cease and continues. "As you may know, I am the one whose leadership has finally stopped the rebel advance. My forces pushed their army back past the mountains to the east, and I rebuilt a line of 3 forts to hold them back. Now we are in stalemate. Shaper forces here, Dracons and their minions on the other side. Our creations savage each other in the wild lands between. That is where things have been, each of us looking for advantage. Then I received the message." Go on. "It is from Galdrim. That beast is the leader of the Dracons, or at least he was. From Gazukias, their fortress at the far edge of the contested territory. He sent a servile carrying it to Fort Defiance." He lets out a short, gurgling laugh. "Fortunately, the servile was not killed on sight. It invites us to send an envoy to Gazukios to negotiate certain details. But this is the interesting part." Alwyn pauses for a moment to regain his breath. "The invitation is extended to only one person. You." "Okay, how do they know about me?" "It is a good question. It is not because you are a spy. They would never call attention to one of their spies in such a way. Perhaps they heard a tale of your travels. Or perhaps you met one of their spies and he, or she, or it, carried your name to them. You sure it was me they wanted?" Their description of you was precise, as if someone who helped to draft the message knew you personally. He smiles. "Met any spies lately?" "What exactly do you want from me?" "I want you to do your duty, to serve the Shapers. I will let you cross the line. I will give you what you need to cross the ravaged plains beyond safely. You will meet with the Dracons. You will hear the offer they make and return it. And more importantly, you will return with information about Gazukias. You will let us know about the fortress. How big it is. How many troops. What it appears to be for. Who is there. That is what I require. and you'll be very, very well paid for quality information. You're also welcome to any treasure or training you can wheedle out of the Dracons while you're there. He makes a little motion with his hand. A servant brings a goblet of wine to him. He takes a deep swallow. Would this be dangerous? Perhaps. Maybe the Dracons have some reason to lure you there and eat you. Perhaps you may suffer a mishap in the waste. Maybe you will fall victim to the natural mental instability of the creatures. But I do not think they specifically intend you harm for the moment. What sort of reward? That depends on the quality of the information you provide. If you genuinely help us, your pay will be considerable. And you want to hear the Dracons have to say, of course. Alwyn shrugs, a painful gesture for someone in his position, but sometimes necessary. Some of the Shapers want to negotiate a peace with the rebels. I do not. I plan to drive them into the sea. Any offers they make would interest me, but they will not change my plans. I will help you. Alwyn nods. I thought you might. You have a look about you that is... I recognize it. I can give you more information on your mission, should you require it. He snaps his fingers. The servant brings him a fresh goblet of wine and an amulet. He gives the latter item to you. That will preserve you in the West. Now that you have agreed to aid him, he looks at you closely. Something about you seems to be bothering him. What is wrong? For a moment, Alwyn becomes distracted. This is not a common occurrence. You look similar to someone I... He shakes his head. No. Just similar. He struggles to concentrate again. You recognize me? General Alwyn rapidly regains his firm composure. I have met many people in my travels. For you to resemble one of them slightly is only to be expected. My condition sometimes causes me to drift. We will speak no more of it. I can aid you with your mission, if you are not ready to depart. I would like to learn more about what is happening in the Storm Plains. General Alwyn nods. He starts to respond, but a brief set of muscle spasms delays his words. When he regains control, he says, A fair question. You need to understand our situation. Before I was elevated to the council, the facts on the ground in the Storm Plains were bad. The forts in the eastern mountains were under constant assault. The enemy was able to regularly pass forces through them. Several cities were destroyed. Then I took control. I rearranged our forces. I drove the enemy back. And most importantly, I restored Shaper law to its proper place as guide of our lives. How did you rearrange your forces? My predecessor was a standard variety of old Shaper. He believed in the old ways, the old creations. I introduced the new varieties, like war trolls and wingbolts, into our forces. This, combined with purging the less reliable and less well-controlled creations from the forces, made a huge difference. What did you do with the forts? I established a line. The 3 forts in the eastern mountains were given all the resources they needed to keep the enemy back. I completely replaced the forts there, removing the old, weak, demoralized soldiers and creations who were riddled with spies, no doubt. And I made it clear that retreat and failure would be punished severely. Conditions improved. Now it has been a good while since any enemy troops penetrated the line. How do you apply Shaper law? There is no mystery here. I apply it as written, firmly. All exceptions must be approved by me personally, and it does not happen often. Under the force we have experienced, some Shapers have broken. Not me. The law will carry us through to victory. How did the Shapers break? They advised surrender, capitulation, letting the rebels have their land, suffering rogues to live, letting any mad creatures practice our skills. He's becoming agitated. His face grows beet red. They were weak. They went without true opposition for too long. They need to be reminded what a true Shaper is. With effort, he calmed himself down. What laws were being broken? All of them, by the rebels. There is no wise principle of ours that they have not rejected. They release plagues of creations that reproduce. These eat our crops and attack innocent serviles and outsiders. This is why the Shapers kept such tight control on our arts. If outsiders use them, such disasters are inevitable. We will destroy the rebels. Then we will regain our control. Our secrets can only be kept by those with the strength to use them wisely. We did it for centuries. We will do it again. Well, I firmly believe in the top one. If the Shapers had managed to keep control, if the dirty, weakened cowards, such as Barzael and Zachary and some of the earlier people from the early Geneforges, hadn't given in to the Shapeways, hadn't compromised, then the entire situation wouldn't be how it is, and thousands of lives would have been saved. Plus Italia. Fuck Italia. So number 1. It's difficult, but it's the only way to ensure peace. He nods. The Shapers brought peace and wealth for centuries. We can do it again if we are strong enough. Any questions? Can I get training and supplies? Since you are aiding me, I will send word to the sages in the southern building. If you can convince them to train you, I will allow it. I'm not keen to join in just yet. I may do that, or I may not. We will figure that out at a later date. For now though... Hello, cat. For now though, we need to head on... We've still got a little bit of time left in this episode, so I want to see what training I can get. I remember there are quite a few people that I couldn't deal with. Marzan will be one of them. Can you teach him about shaping, General Arwen, blah blah blah. If you aid him further, he may decide to increase the range of creations. Okay, Glarks I don't like. Never have liked Glarks. I don't like the melee range of them. But improve create Kaishak. Now, that's 3 levels I've got now. That will give me... What's the upgraded version called? Burning Kaishak or something, or... Oh, I can't tell. I think it's an unstable Kaishak or something like that. Very powerful, but they only last for one area. So I'm not going to bother with those, although... Level 36. What level are the new ones? Level 25. Give me a second. 25 plus 8 is 33. Okay, so it wouldn't be worth it. Each level, I believe, adds 1 more level there when I create them. But these guys have already leveled up a bit. So there's no point. But if they die, then the new ones will be at a higher level, which is good. Who's that? Sage Pavel. Can you teach me some magic? Sin Alwyn has sent word. Yep. Okay, I would like to learn... Acid Shower. Fills the area with acid. Does damage immediately and for several more rounds. Battle magic. See, this may be useful now that I have higher... I've been avoiding getting all these different spells. But my direct attack spells just really aren't particularly useful. However... some of these other ones may be more useful. Prices are exorbitant, but at this point I've got enough money. Let's learn Major Heal. That was very expensive, 4 grand sunk on that. Banish Affliction is very useful, I'll take that. Essence Blade, like the hit and do more damage, so that's a 1 area buff, I don't need it. Battle Aura. Gives you a chance of cursing or sickening your target. Probably useful, but there's no way it's better than the regen aura I've got. Not even close, so I'm not going to bother. Thorny Aura, I'm not bothered. Excellent Shackles. Lightly damages and magic bonds on an enemy, causing it to have a chance of missing turns in combat. Acid Shower sounds useful. do I really want to spend that much money on it though? No, probably not. Banish Affliction though is really good. I'm going to buy another level on it because it'll allow me to get rid of that. Where was it? It was a healing thing. Yeah, Banish Affliction on a single target, including mental effects, slowing, and curses. So if I get dazed or if something bad happens in the future, I can regain control of my creations. Very, very useful. And Major Heal is also useful. I'm actually going to upgrade this one to Major Heal now, because the current one's just not doing enough, anywhere near enough HP, or enough percentage of the HP of these creatures. And I've already been through there. Okay, I think we have done this episode. There is nothing else that I can see, and it looks like I need to head off to Kazuki Us. What do we got here? It's a prison. I don't particularly care about those prisoners. I may come back and have a look at them later. For now though, I'm going to end this episode. I'm going to head up and speak to Raoul and have a chat with him. I may be able to give him this particular, what's the word? The books I stole from Olin. I'm not exactly sure why I'm helping Raoul still, but I may get something good out of it. Anyway, I've been Blxz. This has been Geneforge 5. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content, because it really does help the channel grow and pump me up in the search rankings. Anyway, as always, I've been Blxz. Take care, and I'll see you next time.